Hello, YouTube. Now, it wasn't until very recently that I noticed the sudden definite drop in quality of the episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants that have been aired lately. I love SpongeBob. It was one of my favourite cartoons as a child, and looking at some of the recent episodes, I've noticed that even some of the episodes people were complaining as being terrible, I weren't really seeing what the problem was. This episode opened my eyes. Welcome, everybody, to my review of the unbelievably bad SpongeBob You're Fired. So, we start off in the Krusty Krab. Normal, pretty boring looking setting, and yeah. SpongeBob throws a note on the grill. You're probably thinking, oh goody, that's gonna catch fire and that's why he'll get fired. Nope, that's not it at all. They just have an enormous amount of unnecessary filler. Granted, SpongeBob's always done a lot of filler in their episodes, but has no real precedence on the plot. But this just gets annoying. Way too annoying. And it goes on, much like I'm talking slowly now. But yeah. Still waiting for a point here. Still waiting for a point here. What's all that about? Shut up! Several minutes later. Just do something! So, he smeared himself against the desk. Maybe he'll get fired because of hygiene. Really, in this cartoon world.
Something's missing.
I know what's missing. Any kind of plot whatsoever.
Aha! June 15th. Fine month for pickles.
He should definitely get fired for hygiene reasons now. Ugh. No, of course he doesn't. So, this now is why he's going to get fired.
You're fired.
What?
Fired? Well, you see, I've been doing some calculating and, crunching the old numbers, and it turns out that I'll save a whole nickel if I cut your salary. Completely.
Yeah, he fired him to save money. A nickel. Now, I don't exactly know the value of a nickel, but it's probably about the equivalent of a penny, I get the impression of. And would you really sack someone for the sake of a penny, even if you were as unbelievably greedy as Mr. Krabs? Also, it makes no sense, because surely he's sacking the guy who actually brings in the customers. He's sacking the guy whose personality is loved by the customers, as we've seen in many episodes. He's sacking the guy whose food is considered excellent by everybody. Why doesn't he sack Squidward? Yeah, so here's SpongeBob's suggestion about not being sacked.
What if I work for free?
Yeah, I looked into that. Apparently, it's illegal.
Yeah, like that's ever stopped you before. You're an ass.
Hey, what about me? Can I get fired too?
I'm afraid not, Squidward. You've got seniority.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. Relevance here. Where is the relevance of seniority? I mean, Squidward puts no effort into anything he does for the Krusty Krab. None. He just sits there, he occasionally reads a book, he's generally impolite to customers. He's like, oh, alright. He's not the model employee that SpongeBob is by comparison. Although SpongeBob is a bit of a creepy employee towards Squidward. You wouldn't sack SpongeBob. If anything, Squidward is the repellent of the customers. To save money, you would sack Squidward, not SpongeBob. What kind of ridiculous business plan is this, Mr. Krabs? So now we have some jokes, I guess. And oh no, stop crying. Stop crying. Please stop crying. Please. Yeah. Does he ever stop crying? He cries for over a minute. I mean, how is that necessary? It's just not. It's pointless. It's irritating. I mean, I get it's a little bit funny maybe for about 5 seconds, but it grates. Now he's filling up the Krusty Krab with his tears. Yeah, he's flooding an establishment which is under the water in salt water with tears which are salt water. But anyway, next line.
I'm not a very strong swimmer.
You're a fish. You are a fish. Also, how are you floating? What are you floating on? Why are you floating on tears when you're in underwater? It makes no sense. Anyway, that kind of thing always happened in SpongeBob, things that don't make sense. So they're not my complaint. That line's a bit of a complaint, but anyway.
You know, it just won't be the same around here without you. You'll have to visit sometime as a customer.
I'm surprised by how Squidward isn't going yay and dancing. I mean, he's happy, but he's not exceptionally happy like we were expecting.
Well, Eugene, let me commend you on a terrific business decision. But now that SpongeBob's gone, who will be running the grill?
Squidward, I'll have you know I was 5 times golden spatula in the Navy.
No, you weren't. SpongeBob comes home, and he just seems to try to make Gary feel sorry for him. It's a bit depressing, really. It's not right. So now we see Patrick, who's crying just because SpongeBob's crying.
Patrick, what's wrong?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to question this.
Hi, SpongeBob!
Ha 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 ha. It's funny because it's not the door. Ha ha. I forgot to laugh.
It's not food, Patrick. I got fired.
Hey, that's great! Being unemployed is the best gig I know!
Hear that, kids? Being unemployed is great.
I tell you what, meet me tomorrow morning and I'll introduce you to the wonders of the unemployed lifestyle.
Sorry, Patrick, I can't. I have to work. Oh. Yeah, okay.
Great! See you then!
So, Patrick comes in the next day and he meets Homer Simps Bob SquarePants? Anyway. Oh, and he's holding a mug, which is an obvious reference to one of the... Actually, I was going to say one of the best day evers, but it's more of a just, let's torture Squidward for no real reason. Poor Squidward. Anyway.
How many times do I have to tell you? Keep this off my petunias!
So, still poor Squidward. Patrick should have just removed the at as his name. you know what it would say then.
You're good at this. Next on our itinerary, a brief mid-morning siesta.
It's just not being funny. It's just more filler, unnecessary, ridiculous.
Come on, Sad Pants. You know what always picks me up?
Nope.
Free lunch with friends!
I was sure he was going to say ice cream. So sure. Any other episode he'd have said ice cream.
Okay, let's begin the experiment.
What the fuck? Sandy is a bad friend if she's just going to experiment on them. I mean, this is just... Ah!
Okay, next.
Oh boy, lunch! More!
What is that? What is that?
Spongebob! I almost didn't recognize you. You look awful. What are you doing with these here freeloaders?
Freeloaders? Patrick's supposed to be your friend. Have you forgotten this?
Whoa there, you do not want to eat that.
Why, what is it?
Heck if I know. This here's a psychological test to see how much weird gunk folks will eat. If it's free.
That is not science. That is evil, and it's planktonish.
Here you go, little buddy.
Blech.
You're falling apart.
Holy fuck!
Come on now, Spongebob. You need to pull yourself together. Get some structure in your life. What you need is a new job.
And now we have another shout out to the first episode.
Ready? I'm ready for a new job, for a new job. I'm ready for a new job. I'm ready.
Although, Tom Kenny seems a little out of practice with saying I'm ready. Not that I'm dissing Tom Kenny, he is a brilliant voice actor. And another guy who really should have been on WatchMojo.com's top 10 list of voice actors. Seriously, WatchMojo.com, why was he not on that list? Also, why was Rob Rackstraw not on that list? But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, basically, starts trying to go to find a new job. And, yeah, you'll basically see, just like in the episode Le Big Switch, he can only cook Krabby Patties, and thus he keeps getting sacked. Again, and again. He's a pizza man. And none of it's funny. None of these scenes were funny. Not really. I didn't even chuckle. I'm good at chuckling at times. That wasn't a chuckle moment. So he comes home and he can make snail food that isn't a Krabby Patty. How does that work when he can only make Krabby Patties out of everything else? Anyway, that just ruins all the previous jokes. If he can only make Krabby Patties, how is he making snail food? It just unravels the jokes from earlier. It's unnecessary. It's annoying. So the whole can then goes in Gary's bowl, and then somehow Patrick, again, let's remove the at from his name, is eating some in another bowl, even though there was only enough for one can that went in the one bowl. Just don't question it. Don't. I've already questioned it. You don't want to.
What's that, Gary? It's the best food you've ever had?
Yeah, this is delicious.
So if it's better than actual snail Poe, why doesn't he just go into a business for himself selling and making the snail food? If it's considered better than the actual stuff, he might make more money than the actual people. He wouldn't need to get employment. I mean, gah! What were they thinking of? For fork's sake, why didn't he just do that?
Hello? That's odd. I could have sworn I heard a knock at the door.
Kidnap.
You just fired me.
That's mustard under the bun, my boy. The important thing is my customers love your little sliders. Now get to work.
Rescue.
Hey, kid, you need help out of here?
Pizza Pete! Yes, please! That wiener has me chained to the grill, and he really seems to be relishing it.
Ah, a relish joke. A relish joke because he's a hot dog. So, now we have a bunch of non-funny scenes where all the people who sacked him for no obvious reason want SpongeBob back. So they're all trying to kidnap him and force him to work for them, and fighting each other. And none of it's funny, again. I mean, what happened to the humour on this show? I think it all sort of left the moment Squidward's toenail got tore out in that one episode. Anyway, yay! Someone's here to save SpongeBob.
Unhand that sponge! It's the killer patty!
The killer patty? Now, this rescuer is revealed to be Squidward, but he already has the name, the Killer Patty. This implies that Squidward has been going out dressed as a Krabby Patty and killing people. So, if Squidward is a serial killer, why has he not murdered SpongeBob and Patrick after all the things they've done? I mean, I know if I were a serial killer and they were annoying me that much, I feel pretty damn inclined to add them to my list of victims. So, did anyone else notice that Squidward's arms and legs changed colour as he was getting out of the suit? There's no explanation for that.
SpongeBob,
Yes, Squidward?
you know I hate you, right?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, I hate the smell of burning Krabby Patties even more. Please come back and be the fry cook again.
Really? Really? Squidward hates the smell of burnt patties even more than he hates SpongeBob. After all the things he said about SpongeBob, after all the horrible things they've done to each other, after all the ways that SpongeBob has ruined everything for Squidward. He ruined his joining the secret society, he ruined his choir dreams, he's ruined his house on more occasions than we can count. SpongeBob has ruined Squidward's life, basically, and Squidward says he hates the smell of burnt patties more than he hates SpongeBob. Well, there are some really awful smells around this university sometimes. I've no idea where they come from. I think they come from the drains. But I would not say that I hate these smells more than I hate rap music. I wouldn't. And so why is Squidward saying this? It is so out of character. And also, why is SpongeBob not saying, "Screw you, I am not going to work for you. You have sacked me over a nickel." Anyway, when I'm going to stop trying to put logic into this, because logic, as we already know, didn't even exist in the SpongeBob world when it was good. And just say, oh, for crying out loud, now SpongeBob's going to clean up instead of them, even though they caused the mess. They're just asses. Oh, goody, SpongeBob has those magical clothes-changing powers from that annoying Muller advert.
Got my arms, got my hands, got my fingers, got my legs, got my
And they aren't funny here either. But here's the thing, if he has that Muller advert clothes changing power, why is he putting Squidward in a dress? So, we now see a nice end scene where all of the kidnappers are now eating at the Krusty Krab. Why? 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 Why were they not arrested? Why are they there? What purpose does their being there solve? What is the meaning? It has none. It's just pointless.
Well, SpongeBob, it looks like things are back to normal. And to make up for that extra nickel I was losing, I installed a pay toilet.
Oh dear, where is that nickel?
But hang on, you installed a pay toilet. So if the solution was that obvious, why didn't you just do it in the first place? Also, what happened to your crane machine that you got several series ago? That just disappeared. You could have easily kept the money you were supposedly losing by just keeping that there. Also, one thing that annoys me about this episode is the fact that it might just be my screen. Well, I'm not sure. It isn't my screen because I got it back onto my computer. Something about this episode, the top of the screen's cut off. So people's heads aren't there. The top of the writing's not there. It's annoying. I know, that's not even a proper complaint about the episode's quality, but it's grating. So, after this, I started noticing some really bad things, and I haven't really been properly watching SpongeBob for several years, but I'm going to watch a few more episodes just to see if they are all as awful or worse as this one. I mean, I watched one more episode since I watched that one, which was considerably worse, about Vikings. Gah! And yeah, and there have been some awful older episodes though, the Splinter for example, but they just seem like anomalies really in their own series. This here is, from what I've seen of a few other episodes since, the standard now of quality. Stupid, I mean, it was nonsensical and stupid to begin with, but now it's just taking the biscuit. It's taking the biscuit to the extent of irritating you. So yeah, there's a ton of filler, there's no plot really. There's just no reason for anything to happen, and there's just a ton of nonsensical filler which isn't funny and isn't entertaining. It's awful! I'm the Disgruntled Reviewer, and I hate this episode and what is becoming of SpongeBob. But Tom Kenny's still awesome. Also, Squidward is a serial killer. Why not just kill SpongeBob?